Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast. Are you someone who has strong values and are committed to excellence? Do you have a passion for higher education and student success? If so, explore your career opportunities at San Juan College. San Juan College offers its employees a great benefit package and a competitive salary. Be sure to check out the San Juan College website at sanjuancollege.edu to view all of our employment opportunities. San Juan College is committed to policies of equal employment opportunity. This program is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, who's expanding its services to offer low-cost blood screenings all year round, now offering walk-in convenience to get the blood tests you want when you want them. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, is available in Farmington at the hospital's laboratory and the Outpatient Diagnostic Center on 30th Street. Also in Aztec at San Juan Health Partners Family Medicine at 120 Llano Street. With nearly 20 tests available, there's an option for everyone. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, a wellness service of San Juan Regional Medical Center. Joining me here in the studio to talk about the Love for Thad event that is coming up on June 29th. Rick Quevedo is here. He is with Desert View Family Counseling. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
You bet. Also, Amber Hale is here. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us as well, and you've both been here before, so welcome back.
Thank you.
To KSJE to talk about this important event and about that as well. And Rick, let me start with you a little bit, because this is something that you and your staff deal with all the time, which is counseling and suicide awareness and prevention, and unfortunately it is still a big problem in our community, is it not?
It is. We've talked several times on your show about this, that emotional health just, it continues to be out there, it continues to be a problem, but I'm hoping that we're educating more people that there is help and that there is hope.
Do you find more people are reaching out to you, or at least getting referrals, or their friends are telling them to call someone and get some counseling?
I think so. Our phones blow up a lot, my cell phone.
Right.
And so I know that, people are reaching out, and I'm glad for that. So
good. And so the word is getting out there, but there's still more work to do.
Yes,
I
definitely.
think, always.
Definitely,
and so, Amber, that brings me to you and your part of this conversation, too, about the work that you and your family have done about this, and because it's such a very personal issue. When we talk about Love for Thad, there is a boy behind the name Thad, and he was your son.
Yes, he was. Thad was a 13-year-old at Kugler Middle School in Aztec when he took his own life in November of 2014. And so since then, my family and I, we just really, truly don't want to see another family know what it's like to lose a loved one this way. And so we we work with Desert View, and we also encourage families to talk to their kids about suicide. Saying the word suicide isn't going to make someone suicidal. We make that a big point, and checking in with your family and loved ones and just making sure they are okay. It's really easy to hide depression and suicidal thoughts.
Right. A lot of people don't want to talk about it.
Correct.
Right. And they don't want to, they don't want to talk about it. If they see their child is maybe going through some stuff, it's maybe just a phase, or they'll grow out of it, or what have you, I suppose, as someone who doesn't have children. But that's important that parents know what's going on in their child's life, Rick, isn't it? I mean, that's something that you talk about all the time, I think.
Well, especially with teenagers, it's like, okay, so they're withdrawn, or, they lost their appetite, or they're moody. Okay, well, is that part of being a teenager, or is it something else? A lot of kids self-cut these days, or do self-harm to themselves. There's just so many different stages or things that they do that can lead up to that whole attempt at suicide.
Right. And that, would you call it a warning sign, I suppose?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so for parents to really be engaged in, and even, I guess, others too, other relatives, right? It doesn't have to be mom or dad. Ideally, it should be. But if an aunt or a grandma or a grandpa or somebody else is close to that child, I mean, they need to know what's going on, or maybe notice something out of the ordinary?
It takes a village, as they say, and I think that more so these days, kids don't go to their parents. They do, like you said. There's a relative or a friend or somebody that they can look up to reach out to. Whoever it is, just have that conversation. Find out what's going on with that young person.
Right, and teachers, I suppose,
Yeah,
too. I mean,
teachers.
and they are, I think, legally obligated to
Yeah.
report if they
Mandated
feel something is
reporters.
going on. Correct.
Correct. Yeah.
So that's important as well. So again, the event is coming up, and this has kind of been growing. What year is it that we're doing Love for
Fourth
Thad?
year.
Fourth year.
Fourth year, everybody. And so it grows every year into a bigger and bigger event. And so talk to me a little bit about what's planned for this year. It's June 29th at Bird Park in Farmington.
Yeah.
And so it is always a 5K run or walk if you choose to do that.
Yes.
I'm more of a walk person myself. But this year there's a wellness festival as well. And so talk to me a little bit about what that is.
It was really important that we kind of expand things this year. This would have been Thaddeus' senior year, and so we really wanted to tie in the whole thought of wellness, emotional wellness, family, unity, community, and so I think that's what we're going to do basically with this wellness fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
Amber?
so we are still looking for vendors for that wellness festival portion. And so essentially the idea is we want people to come to this event and be able to find their community, whatever that might look like for them. So we want sports clubs represented, churches represented, the Parks and Rec is going to be there. There's going to be artists. There's going to be music. We really want people to be able to find where they feel they fit in and connect with those people. Connection is so important.
Yeah.
Right. I'm looking at the brochure that you brought in and shared with me this morning. Yoga, runs and kids. You're looking for family-friendly activities. All those things that we know about how great Bird Park is, and there's room for all these different things going on at the same time, right?
We're going to have therapy dogs. Actually, the pound is going to be involved, and they're going to bring their dogs down.
Animal
and
shelter
people
will
can
be
walk.
there, okay.
Animal shelter,
Great,
yes,
great.
thank you, not the pound. But just a bunch of different things to keep kids busy, keep the families there that day, and just for us to, what a great time to spend with your child and have that conversation.
Indeed, right.
Yeah.
And so folks that want to run or walk need to register.
Yes, they
All
can
right.
go to active.com, search Love for Thad, but we're also all over our Facebook page, Love for Thad, and our Desert View page.
Okay, you can see links to all that, right, to
Yeah.
get you to where you need to go to register. And registration is how much?
It's $42 for adults and $15 for children for the 5K event. Now, the Wellness Festival is free to the
That's
public.
free to everybody, right? Okay. And but give me those prices one more time. I'm sorry.
$42 for adults, $15 for children 12 and under.
Okay. Is there a T-shirt involved?
Yes.
I was going to say
and-
there has to be a T-shirt. Everybody gets a T-shirt.
Yes, and 2 and under are free.
Okay.
Yeah.
To run or carry or
To carry.
be pushed or
Yeah,
roll.
There
Exactly.
is a kids walk as
Okay.
well, so
Very good.
yeah.
And how long is that one? Is it
It's
5K
it's
too?
a mile.
Just a mile.
But
okay.
those kids get after it. And
Oh, I
wanna
bet they
keep
do.
Going, so we might do something a little longer this year.
Right, right. Okay. Well, that's great. And it's on the 29th, Saturday, at Bird Park. And it will be on the Scott Avenue side of
The
Bird Park.
pavilion side,
Correct.
yeah.
Where everybody always gathers. So that's what we're talking about, everybody. And so, Amber, as this event has grown over the years, I mean, it must take on special meaning for you and your family to be able to see your son remembered in such a way and doing such good for the community, because I'm sure people are being helped by the awareness and what this event brings to the issue of suicide and suicide awareness.
Yes. My family, we just really want to be able to help others. I want to remember my son, and it's a beautiful way to combine those two things. And I'm so grateful for our community because they've really rallied behind us year after year. And they care about my son, and they care about the community, and it's a beautiful thing.
And this is another part of that conversation when we talk about suicide awareness and the problem of suicides in our community, of teen suicides and adult suicides, and the family that is left to go on. I mean, that's an important part of this as well. And Amber, you show it with such grace and strength, I think, in many ways, of how you do that you certainly don't forget about your son, Thad, but you have other family to think about and to support, and life does go on.
Yes. For one thing, I practice what I preach. My whole family went to counseling. In addition to that, though, I know to check in and tell people when I need a little bit more emotional support. People have continued to check in on our family. And so, yes, you move forward. No, you never forget your child. And there are some days that are so hard, and others that are just fine. It's just kind of the way it goes. But we just always try to remember that we're doing really good work with Love for Thad, and we're really helping people, and that's exactly what Thad would have wanted.
Right. And I know you can never really predict what days are going to be those rough days and which days are going to be those I'm okay days, and it just...
Sure wish I could.
Right.
I can tell you that this year, particularly, especially with this being, Thaddeus' senior year, it's been really hard on her. And I'm just glad that our team has just been able to support her in the way that her and her family needs to be supported.
Sure.
So...
And that's important. And again, it's great that we have that resource in the community, and that is what this event goes to support, is the work that you all do, right, at Desert View.
Yes. The billing codes and all that stuff, insurance, they don't care about those crisis slots, and that's what we need when kids are in crisis or someone's in the emergency room and they're being released. And with these dollars that are raised, we're able to provide those counseling slots, those crisis slots. 50 minutes or longer treatment for that individual to get some kind of immediate help to kind of, control the situation. So,
right.
Yeah.
And don't worry about who's going to pay or how it's going to be paid for or whatever. It's available.
Yeah, the schools love it. The hospitals love it. It's quite the resource.
Right. And of course, we have seen how very important it is to, and how Desert View responds in times of tragedy and things, whether it's Aztec High School or other incidents or issues around the county at different schools and different places. I mean, that is what you do and your staff does.
Yeah. And it's always, I think every new situation that happens, it's kind of, you just can't believe this is happening to our community. But it continues to happen, just like the things we see on the news. It's very much here in our own community. And I think we've got a great community that continues to prepare for those things as much as you can, and to have the resources available.
Right. And you have teams that go to the schools and provide that counseling for if a student has tried to or committed suicide or whatever the case may be, the schools will offer some counseling for their friends or what have you, correct?
So the first thing that we try to do is we go in and work with the staff, because they can't help those students unless they're kind of in a better place themselves.
Sure, right.
And then we work with the students. But we've had so many businesses call us in grief situations, adults that have taken their lives, and they want us to go in and work with their staff as well. So the word's out there, definitely.
Right, that there is help available.
There's help available, and we'll go to them.
Right.
Absolutely.
As much as we want to see the end of this, if it's still happening, the help is there.
Yes.
Is the kind of thing.
Yes.
My guest this morning, everybody, we are talking about the Love for Thad, Strides Against Suicide and Wellness Festival, the 5K event happening on Saturday, June the 29th at Burke Park in Farmington. And Thad's mother, Amber Hale, is with us this morning, and also Rick Quevedo is here from Desert View Family Counseling. And again, this event has grown over the years, and this would be Thad's senior year. And so I know that has to trigger all kinds of thoughts, Amber, for you and your family, again, to see this date come and go as you get ready, right?
It does. We've watched a lot of Thad's friends go to prom and homecoming, and through the last years, watching them get their driver's licenses, and now acceptance letters to college, and they're graduating very soon. And it's been bittersweet. I'm so excited for those kids. I'm so excited to see what they're going to do with their futures, and yet I can't help but wonder what my son would be doing.
Of course. Right, of course. But again, this event like this hopes to, again, get more kids to graduation and to be doing some of these milestones instead of the alternative.
Absolutely. It's our hope with this event that no family will go through this, and so we'll see more and more kids fulfilling their dreams and their destinies. And that's our dream. That's our hope.
Right.
And he's left quite a legacy,
right.
All these years of this work that we've been able to do. And I'm so glad that Aztec is going to honor him and remember him at the graduation. I think that's just as important, and he's definitely, like I said, made a name for himself, additional name as far as his legacy goes. Yeah.
Sure. Amber, would you mind sharing a little bit about Thad with us? What kinds of things he'd like to do?
Oh. Well, he was a typical teenager. He did not think that mom and dad were very cool.
Right.
However, he was an amazing older brother. He absolutely loved his brother Malachi. He was into music, loved 90s alternative, and art. He was on student council. He was the volleyball manager for Aztec Middle School, or Kugler Middle School, excuse me.
Right.
And essentially, I mean, he was a normal kid. He liked to go camping, fishing, all of that stuff. Yeah, it just kind of went downhill for him pretty quickly.
Right.
Unfortunately.
And when you say that, what is it bullying? Is it, do we know? Do you have any thoughts about that without?
I've given that a lot of thought over the last 5 years.
Right.
And I think it was a big combination of things. I think
see.
there was absolutely a bullying aspect there. Thad also had a physical illness that we were unable to diagnose. So we'd taken him to countless specialists. So he was very sick all the time. And I think there were some children he hung out with. I do not blame these children, but there were some children that he hung around with that had some really rough stories. And I think Thad started to believe that those were his stories. And it kind of put him into a state of depression, and he started cutting. And about 2 months after we found out that he was cutting, he passed away.
I see. Gotcha. And Rick, this is a story, unfortunately, that is repeated
Many times. Yeah.
in any community, not just ours. And I don't want to make it seem like we have more of this than than other communities,
Correct.
but we certainly have more than we would like to have.
Yes, and again, and visiting with Amber and Ryan, they did everything they were supposed to do, and you still you don't know.
Right.
And tough, very tough.
Sure. But as the family moves forward, and it's certainly, there's a younger brother in the family, and things along that line, it's very important to be able to balance
Absolutely.
remembering and yet moving forward. And I bet you find that's a little bit tricky some days.
Malachi was pretty young when Dad passed away, so he's as of right now, he's a pretty normal kid. And so it's life as usual with him. He's involved in school, of course. He's in 3rd grade, and sports and hanging out with his friends. And what we've learned, though, is that we spend time together, a lot more time together. And we make sure that we're checking in on how he is feeling.
Right, that's important, too.
He loves to be involved in the events every year and handing out the awards and all that stuff. So, yeah.
That's important. So that's great.
It is.
Well, again, it is coming up on June 29th, everybody, the Love for Thad Strides Against Suicide and Wellness Festival. What time does everything get started in the morning?
Yoga, early.
Yoga.
So
Okay.
yoga is starting at 6:30. Emily Faulkner.
Y'all have fun with that.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
man.
I might miss that.
I'm with you.
Well, for the community, Emily Faulkner used to have a studio here.
Oh, yeah.
She's amazing. She is coming into town to teach that sunrise yoga class. So come out and say hi to Emily if nothing else.
Right. Well, and you're the river, so
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth getting up early for. I
Absolutely.
understand.
The walk
So-
and run will start at 8 because it gets a little warm for those runners.
Right.
Yeah.
We hope it will.
So-
It's been really
Yeah,
cold here
that's
the
true.
last few weeks,
That's
so we're
true.
hoping it will warm up by June.
That's right.
But if everyone's registered ahead of time, they can just show up and get going at 8
Yeah.
o'clock, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be lining up around 7:45, but 8 o'clock on the dot.
Okay.
We will be starting
Yep.
the run.
I got it.
Silent auction again this year. We're still looking for things for our silent auction. We're definitely still looking for sponsorship. We're going to have a balloon release the night before. We'll do a candlelight vigil like we do every year. It's such a great turnout. It's so intimate.
Nice.
And
That's the night before?
That's the night before.
Right.
You mentioned about the survivors. It's so important that they have that time too.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, and that'll be at the park, same place,
Same
right?
place.
Night
Pavilion.
before on Friday
Yeah.
night. So
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
good to know.
Yep.
And again, folks can register online. It is active.com is where the registrations for the
Correct.
the
Just
race
search
are.
Love for that, and should be pretty easy this year.
Sign up, and there you go. And there's the 5K run, or we could walk it, I suppose, or
Absolutely.
and the 1 mile kids walk.
Yes.
Will be there as well.
Yeah.
And you can sign up for all those things.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Perfect. All right.
So,
Very.
live music and a DJ and all
and
that fun
speakers,
stuff. Yeah.
as always.
That's
Yeah,
always important
exactly.
too. So it's a
Yes.
great event.
Yeah.
So-
Very important. And again, if folks want more information, can they call Desert View?
Sure, they can call me or Amber.
Okay.
Yep.
Who wants to give their phone number on the radio? Amber?
My
do
phone
all
number
that.
is area code 303-810-9627.
And mine is area code 505-947-4471. You could also email us at
loveforthad2019@gmail.com.
Yep.
There you
we'll
go.
get right back to you.
And that'll answer all your questions, hopefully, or get you in touch with the people that can. So perfect. Thank you both for coming in this morning. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks for having us,
Thank
Scott.
you.
You're very welcome. It is the Love for Thad event coming up again, everyone, on Saturday, June 29th at Berg Park in Farmington. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.